All right, here we go. Here we go. We are live. We are here. We are here. We are here. Hello, hello, Ramu, Philip, Jarek, David, Kevin, Shempasta, Ahad, SJ, first time live. Thank you for being here, SJ. Hope you enjoy the live show. Cash King, Felicia, we are here. Stocks are green. The moon is there, and there's a lot of stocks that are trying to get over there because the PPI came out and it was way better than what we expected. We are here. We are here. Let's get into the PPI right now before we get into the quote of the day and word of the day for those that are new here. Look, PPI came in pretty amazingly. I mean, we beat expectations. It makes sense because CPI was down, and if CPI was down, that means that consumers are paying less to buy things, which means producers are probably paying less to produce things, which is the whole point of the PPI. So it's not that the CPI is always an indicator of what the PPI will look like. It's more so the vice versa. But the fact that it's there means that it's good to go and we see something. Here we go. PPI beats expectations. US PPI year over year. We forecasted 6.8%. We got 6.2. 6.2. US core PPI year over year. We forecasted 5.6. Actuality, 5.5. So then I said, where is the moon? Because I've got some stocks that would like to go there. Looking at my Robinhood today, by the way, let me tweet that I'm live. I always forget to do that. If I'm looking at my Robinhood, my Tesla is up. My Palantir is up. My Sofi is up. I have a small little position in DNA, 100 shares. That is up right now. The $1 I bought at the S&P, that's a couple cents away from hitting the $400 mark. This is pretty phenomenal, man. I mean, 2023 was not supposed to start off like this, and maybe it's fake. And I would like to explore all the reasons why it could be fake. But maybe we're getting to a soft landing, and it's actually happening. Morning open live. Let me just tweet it out. And now I know it feels a little fake. I can definitely understand the hesitation for why this doesn't feel real and why buying now might not be the best given earnings are coming up, and those earnings might suck really badly. Especially some of the big names like Tesla and Apple. But, I mean, what if earnings surprise? What if Apple hits it out of the park, right? What if it's not as bad as we think it's going to be? Just putting this in my Discord. Okay, boom, that's done. Everything's up. Everything is up. Beard looks short like that. Thank you. I appreciate it. I missed the old beard. I tweeted a picture yesterday of the old beard. I'll show it later. And I'm just like, I think the new beard is better, not being as big as it was. Amit, I was here when it's bad. Now I'm here when it's good. Let's go, baby, with that Patrick Swayze beard. Goddamn, it's gonna be good. Let's hope so. So you finally buying now? So I've been buying a little bit. I bought yesterday. I bought Sofi and Palantir. I'm thinking to just start buying, bro. I don't like. At the end of the day, my averages are so bad on some of these stocks, except Sofi. Sofi, my average is phenomenal. Like if Sofi 5Xs, I will have a pure 5X to ride it back to $25. Some people will be breaking even at $25. I will be making a crap load of money. I'm trying not to curse because there was a person who commented yesterday who was a Christian. He said, hey, there's Christians that watch your video. Please don't curse. And I'm trying to be a little bit respectful of that. But I will make a lot of money on Sofi. Let's see what happens. I have a serious question. Is Babyface Amit saying relieving? Well, Babyface was completely without the beard. I think with the beard, it's less of a babyface. You know, I kind of just like it, bro. I like it the way it is. I think it's better than having the full beard. So I think we're going to keep it like this. I just have to shape it up. All right, let's get into Webull. Let's see what's going on. I have a reaction video today coming to the new Palantir Sonidex renewable energy partnership. This was one of the best videos Palantir's ever put out, I think, like in its history. It was a really good video. Highly recommend watching that reaction video. Is just one of the best reaction videos I've seen, explaining what Palantir can do to help renewable energies and their partners. So we've got Sofi at $564, up 3.68%. We got Spotify at $93. Coinbase, look at that, 54. It was at 31 on a couple weeks ago. Is pretty low back then. So now we're at 54. Not bad. Marathon Digital up 300%, 837. Enphase 255. That one's overvalued. I would not buy that one, but that one's up. Taiwan Semiconductors, look at this, heading back to $91. Apple at 135. Snowflake 145. Netflix, where we got a Netflix, it's up 327. Their earnings are tomorrow. Are Netflix earnings tomorrow? Hold on. Netflix earnings. I think they're tomorrow. I think they are tomorrow. Are they tomorrow? Yeah, they're tomorrow. Wow. We have Netflix earnings tomorrow. That's crazy. Okay, so we will be covering. I think it's going to be after hours though. They usually do it after hours. So we will see. Bull trap. Just watch. I don't know, man. Like, look, I get it. I understand the concern that it's a bull trap, and I'm not trying to be naive because many times I've felt like it's not a bull trap. But what is the catalyst? I guess is my question. Because inflation's down, PPI's down, CPI's down. I know there's a host of other factors. I mean, there's a lot of other things, but like that's the core thing, right? If inflation goes down, then it's good. Like we're supposed to be okay. Obviously, credit card debt, the housing market. There's a ton of stuff. I think Meet Kevin put out a video yesterday explaining that we're going to crash another 50%. And I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but he has some really good detailed analysis. So it's not like we're out of the blue by any means, but it's nice to have a green day. Look at ARK at $37. Tesla up 4% pre-market at one. It's about to hit 140. Amazing. We'll see that happens. Amid, how heavy were you buying in November, December? Did you peak in 2021? I peaked in February 2022. I started buying a lot February 2022. And now I have a good amount of cash ready to offload into the market, which is why I like buying Tesla at 130 versus 102 to me. It doesn't really matter because my average on Tesla is like 204. So I don't care that much about it, right? Like I'll buy it at 130 and I won't stress that I didn't buy it at 102. And in fact, I don't know if it's going back to 102. I don't know if it starts moving up. So if it goes down, I'll just keep DCAing. But it was more so a question of at 102, there was so much Twitter drama that I felt like it wasn't about Tesla, it was about Twitter. And I feel like that's cooled down completely. Like it doesn't feel like anyone even cares anymore. Like Elon Musk could not find a CEO, and I feel like no one would care. And at 102, it really wasn't about demand, or it was about like the Twitter nonsense. He was politically tweeting stuff every day. And maybe if that gets worse, it would go back down, but who knows? No, that was clickbait. It didn't actually mean we would. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't think he was actually saying we would go down 50%. That's a lot. That's the time you buy when there's so much drama. I agree, Cash King, but also I have a limited amount of funds, and I'm like, if it keeps, I don't want to But yeah, you are correct. This is where even me, my stomach has to get much better dealing with these things. My stomach is not as. If my stomach was as advanced as it was, which is like a Sachin Sharma type of stomach, the guy that's all in on Palantir and basically on margin doesn't care, like he's in his 40s, I'm in my 20s, so it's a little bit different of a risk appetite, and I'm trying to get to that level because if I can be like that in my 20s and I pick the right stocks, I can be on the moon in the next 10 years. We will see. But I have to learn how to get my stomach up to that level as well. I'll openly admit my stomach's just not at the level. And that's why I don't own Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at $21,000. If my stomach was really at that level, I would have some of this thing in my portfolio. And I don't. At least not yet. But wait till the big boys start investing. I agree. 3 rings. How many ladies you got engaged with, my man? I don't know, bro. I like this 3-ring combination for some reason. It's kind of cool. I'm like, you know what? I'm going with the 3 rings. I bought so much Tesla. I love it when FUD comes into play over stupid crap. Well, that's it. It's good that you bought when it was a lot of FUD. What is going on with Rocket Lab as the market opens in 45 seconds? By the way, shout out to 175 people being here. Deeply appreciate you starting your morning with me. Hopefully it brings you some energy for the day, and we have a great day. Rocket Labs up 10%. Rocket Labs, what was the low on this? 348, December 28th. Okay, so it's up. Wow, it's up a decent, almost like 40-50% since then. Wow, it's not bad. Not bad. That's a nice little run, 348 to 548. Up $2 since then. So, yeah, I mean, look, I'm not an investor in Rocket Labs. I know somewhat about it. I just haven't sort of gone deep into it. But obviously, SpaceX getting valued at $137 billion, that also helped a lot of space stocks get some better valuations. When times are frothy. When the market gets excited, and everything goes up. It's just a question of if this is real or if this is not. All right, December 18th, 2023, 9:30 a.m. 18 days into January. You know what we got to do. There's a bell. There's a cow. You put them together. We have a cowbell. The stock market is open. Wake your ass up. The stock market is open. Google at $93. Tesla $136. SoFi $567. Spotify $93. Upstart $17. S&P 45 cents away from $400. Snapchat $983. Coinbase $54.91. Marathon Digital $842. Uber $30. Even Uber is up in this market. Goodness. Palantir $720. BBY, are you up so much? Wow, look at this. Bed Bath & Beyond up 7%. Bed Bath & Beyond will come back crashing down. I do not think it has enough momentum in this interest rate environment to sustain a GameStop type of run, even though it's up already 300%. But we will see. I know a lot of people that have some puts on this stock that are going to send it down. Palantir, 717, up 1.4%. Again, great interview yesterday. I did a reaction to that, and you can check it out on the channel. Carp talked about a lot of different things, and it was some interesting stuff. Roku at 51, Zoom at 70, Arc Innovation at 37, Dolores, AMD 72, CRISPR 52, DNA, Ginkgo. I mean, Ginkgo's at a hell of a recovery. Look at this stock right here at $2.30. This was $1 like 45 the other day, like 4 days ago. So, I mean, already it's up a nice, healthy percentage, just up from there, almost 30-40%. So Ginkgo is up, doing really well. Again, I am long Ginkgo, have not established a major position again yet. I had a big position at 290. I sold it because I saw that things were getting really bad for biotech. Really like the company, really like what they're doing. Just haven't fully established the position yet, but it's on there to establish the position. Legend has it, may never see the opportunity to get Tesla at 100 ever again. Maybe, if earnings go really well, maybe. If you're a long-term investor, you should be excited when it goes down as long as the thesis hasn't changed. I agree. And see, my conviction is like that with Palantir. It's starting to get like that with Sofi. With Tesla, it's also starting to get there because it's just like, it's hard to imagine it doesn't go there. Look at this. My Palantir puts are up 20% today. Up 20%. I love Carps. He just says whatever. FUV down 60%. Let's go to FUV right now. Well, Arcimoto was always, Arcimoto has been crushed completely for a while. Arcimoto has been hammered down pretty badly. You know what? Let's do a little buying today. Let's buy $500 worth of Tesla. Let's get into some Tesla. Tesla. Time to buy a little. And again, my average is so big on Tesla in the 200s that it really doesn't matter. But let's get some. I do think over earnings, it's not going to be amazing. So I don't want to buy a lot right now. But let's buy a little bit of Tesla. We're going to get $500 worth of some Tesla. Here we go. Let's pull it up. Here's my entire screen. No Chrome. Robinhood. Tesla's at 134.78. We're going to buy in dollars. We're going to put 500. That's going to get us 3.7 shares. Review order. Buy. There we go. Oh, I have to sign in on my email. Okay, so I have to do this thing. Does that work? There we go. All right. $500 of Tesla has been bought. And now let's look at the averages on this. Let's refresh this one. On this account, I am down $695, 12.4 shares. 6% of the portfolio. I have another couple shares in my Sofi account, but there we go. We got 3.7 shares of Tesla. Tesla purchase has been done. Screenshot that to Chris. Amit wouldn't buy at 130, it buys at 130. Amit wouldn't buy at 100, but buys at 130. I said this would happen. Look, man, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. It's hard, man. It's difficult in this market to just buy. At 100. That shit looked like it was going down to 70. I'm not going to lie. At 130, it was like it's going to 170. Look, I understand. It's just, this is where I've got to get better as well. I'll be honest about this. I think the reason people watch my channel is because I'm not perfect buying it at the bottom or buying it at the top. It's because I'm like, hey, at 102, I didn't feel like I wanted to buy. Now, also, to be fair, I've had a lot of conversations since it was at 100 with a lot of people I respect off camera, not even on podcasts. Like I literally had a 2-hour conversation the other day at 2 a.m. about Tesla with Sebastian, who's one of the investment bankers who did a Palantir DCF. He's all in on Tesla. And I really talked through every bear case about him, and he kind of helped me understand it a lot more. So in this case, look, Tesla for them to get to be a $1 trillion company again, I think it's very possible. I don't know if it's going to happen in 10 years, 15 years, but I do think 130 is starting to feel cheap for them. So it is where it is. It is where it is. Remember when Gabe said it was going to 60? Okay, so yeah, I hope Gabe is doing okay. For those that know, Gabe is a friend of the channel. He has a lot of puts on the S&P at 360. I hope he's doing all right. Look, honestly, I hope the S&P goes to 340 just for him because he's a friend of mine. And if it does, it's a huge buying opportunity for everybody, right? Tesla would probably be below 100 if the S&P did get to 340. Or maybe if Tesla's numbers were just that phenomenal, it avoids that dramatic decline. But yeah, I hope it's okay. Same. I had 4K waiting for buy Tesla at the bottom. I also missed it. Yeah, I mean, look, we miss things. And I think so with Tesla I didn't buy at 102. I was feeling a little but Palantir I was buying very low at 640, 597. I was buying at those prices because my conviction on Palantir is so rock hard. And this is where investing becomes subjective. I mean, someone might have a major conviction on, I don't know, what's a good name? AMD. Like they just know semiconductors are the future. They know AMD is going to be winning, blah, blah, blah. I know nothing about AMD, quite frankly. I know a little bit. I don't know enough to be like, AMD is the one I got to buy, or NVIDIA at 109, right? Like people that knew NVIDIA that were buying it at 109 knew NVIDIA. Now it's at like 170. I couldn't take a bet on NVIDIA at the bottom because I genuinely don't know why NVIDIA is the next AI powerhouse. Like I have an understanding of it, but I don't know it. For Palantir, I know it. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. But I know my conviction in Palantir is strong. So as my conviction gets stronger, it'll be easier to buy when it gets to the bottom. TJ, the Wheel Deal Trading Journal, nobody is, bro. If I was good at picking the bottom, I'd already own an island somewhere. That is true. That's why you got a DCA. Is Gabe the guy that gets excited by chat? Yes. Gabe checks the chat a lot. He'll probably make a vid at 200 on how he was wrong. Money and more, you need to shave again. Yeah, I need to line it up. I do need to line it up. Get into the talking heads. Let's see what they're talking about. We have some new updates from Davos, which is the World Economic Forum summit that's going on right now. There was an interesting clip. Let's hear Cannon Fitzgerald saying, we don't think we're going to have a soft landing. So this is more of a bearish case on what's going to happen with the market. Amid buys on green days, not on red days. This is not true. I bought Tesla on a green day. I've been buying Palantir and Sofi on pretty much not every red day, but a lot of red days. Again, this is a stock by stock basis. This is not a conviction by it's conviction by conviction. Palantir and Sofi, my conviction is very deep. Now you can have a disagreement about my conviction level for Palantir, Sofi, and Tesla, but I was buying on those red days for those stocks at 590, at 490 for Sofi, all that stuff. For Tesla, again, the conviction is just, it's been a little bit hard to get, but it's starting to get there. Okay, where's the screen? Here we go.
Me now, post 9, Eric Johnston of Cantor Fitzgerald. It's good to see you again.
Thanks for being here.
So you're as bearish as you've been? Still?
Yes. Yeah,
undeterred.
Undeterred. Yeah, there's been no change. I think if you see what's been going on the past couple of weeks, there's a thought that we could have a soft landing that's being priced into markets. There's been some short covering going on from hedge funds. CTAs have been buying, but I think if you play out the soft landing scenario, there's some downside to that scenario, right? In that scenario, the Fed is unlikely to cut rates. The 10-year yield, as a result, will probably need to rise. And that won't get rid of this concern that a recession is coming, because ultimately this market goes in cycles. The economy goes in cycles. The unemployment rate is 3.5%. We are, by definition, at the top approximately of the cycle. And so if the recession doesn't come in 23, the market's then going to think, okay, maybe it's coming on 24. So I think you're number one, that'll create a lower multiple that the market would put on numbers. And then also earnings estimates, I don't think would rise in that scenario. But to be clear, we don't think we're going to have a soft landing.
Okay.
But I understand that is a possibility. And if that happens, I still don't think stock prices will go up. And I actually think there's still downside.
What happens if the economy is just far stronger than you have anticipated, and that just doesn't enable your scenario to play out, and the economy is much stronger than anybody anticipated? And you can look at any chart or historical metric that you want and say, well, when this happens, it always means a recession. When the Fed does this, this happens, but it never and can't take into account where we started this whole thing.
Sure. So I would.
That's not that outlandish, by the way.
That's not that outlandish. The one thing that I would say a couple things. Is number one, the rate market disagrees, right, with that premise. The 3-month 10-year is inverted by 118 basis points.
No question.
With the 10-year at 3.5%, the Fed going to 5%, the rate market is saying they're going to need to cut over 200 basis points in the next 2 years. That's only going to happen. That's not going to happen if the S&P is at 4,000, the unemployment rate's at 3.5%. So the rate market does think that things are going to get materially worse.
There's no question about it.
And the second thing that I would say,
it doesn't mean it.
I was going to pause and say exactly what the host is about to say. It doesn't mean the rate market is right? So the guy, the Cannon Fitzgerald dude, Eric Johnston, is basically saying the rate market has priced in for the S&P to not get to these levels above 4,000, given what the Fed has been telling us. And then Scott, the host, is just like, yeah, but like they could be wrong.
It happens every time.
That's true. That's true. But if you look at the past sell-offs that we've seen in the market, they've all started with a very low unemployment rate. So February of 2020, that was a 50-year low unemployment rate. 2007, that was a 6-year low unemployment rate. In the bubble of 2000, everything felt great in February of 2000. We were at a 30-year low unemployment rate. Things felt great. And then obviously we know things completely fell apart. So in the beginning of these things always, there's a sense of complacency that goes on where maybe we can get through this. But the reality is that it always feels this way in the beginning. And like I said, we go in cycles. And I think over time, if you sold a 3.5% to 4% unemployment rate and you bought a 10% unemployment rate, you would do very well. And right now we are towards the end of the cycle, and whether it's a cycle ending in 23 or 24, it's probably on its last legs.
Okay. What if you're right? What if everything you said makes perfect sense to everybody who's listening, but you're tactically wrong? That it just takes much longer to play out than you thought. And you miss a whole lot of upside in the market before the you-know-what allegedly hits the fan in the second half of the year, that most people said tough first half, Fed done, maybe they signal they might cut, stock market has a good second half of the year, saves the day. What happens if it's reversed?
So if I'm wrong, I think wrong will be the market going sideways. I think, and it taking longer than I think to sell off, because I think there's actually, as we look at the economy, I actually think the second half of the economy was going to be worse than the first half. And the reason why is because we still do have an unemployment rate of 3.5%. There are still excess savings. The consumer is still at the moment strong, although they're whittling through their savings and they're increasing their credit usage. So I think it will be pushed towards the back half of the year. However, stocks are a discounting mechanism, as we know. And so I do think the sell-off is going to come in the first half. But I think where I would be potentially wrong with that, it would take longer than I think, rather than the market going to 43, 44, 4,500 in the meantime.
So see, as a tactical person, when do you cut bait on the line and say, you know what, I think I'm wrong tactically in the near term, and I don't want to cost my clients, our clients, an opportunity? How does that all play into the way you think? Because you can be a short-term guy, right? Sure. That's what tactical is. You can change your mind if the facts change.
Yes.
If the facts suggest that the market is actually not going to be as bad as you once thought, for now, what do you do?
So, I think I can see from a price perspective where, due to positioning and due to sentiment and broadly, that we could get a little bit of a rally. But this is a case where we're so far against what I think, against the ceiling, that it's going to be very hard for me to paint a scenario where the market's going at 43, 4,400, and I'm saying I'm wrong, I missed something.
Okay, this is very interesting, right? So when you think about these hedge fund managers, their job is to mitigate risk and make as much money as possible, really in the short term for their clients, right? Like if they're down 15% over a month, you want to exit that position, right? You want to hedge, right? That's the whole point. And you want to make a lot of money. His argument is that there is such a ceiling in terms of the way the Fed is allocating their QT and their interest rates predictions, essentially. I mean, they're not even predictions. They're kind of the things the Fed has said that is going to happen, that it's almost impossible for him to see a rally that is actually substantial, right? 10, 15, 20%, where the S&P goes back to 4,400. So if that's the case and he's right, then the argument is either we stay flat or we go back, there's a leg down. If he's wrong, then that means he's missing something. And the question is, what is he missing? Now, he could be missing a lot of things. It's just one guy making one form of analysis. You've got Tom Lee, who's always made analysis that says stocks could rally 20%. But it's kind of hard to know who to trust. And it's crazy because their job as a short-term, hedge fund manager is to literally hedge and protect positions. OBG404 says everyone was freaking out when Tesla was at 100. Even Tesla economist, who was a big Tesla bull, turned bearish and took a 10 million loss on his dad's retirement account selling Tesla. I don't blame Amit for not buying in the hundreds. Bro, a $10 million loss? Okay, if I have that much money invested in Tesla, I would imagine my conviction is high enough to withstand Tesla going down to 100, right? Like if I have that, like a $10 million loss means you have more than 10 million in Tesla. Like, yeah, I didn't buy it 100, but if you have that much money, I don't know why you're selling that. That is, wow, I didn't know it was that bad for Tesla bulls. I didn't know they were free. I mean, I know Chicken Genius and a bunch of, but I didn't know people were taking that big of a loss on Tesla. Because if you have that much on Tesla, like you give it time to play out, right? You trust Elon and trust the narrative that it's the Fed, it's not Twitter, it's not demand, and that he'll figure it out. Like if you're gonna put that much money to someone, you trust them. Wow, that's a lot. Amit, what's your take on SoFi at this point? Big run up. I personally see 6. I think it can hit 6 before or on earnings. However, it is contingent upon if they get 500,000 new members. If they do, and I think they can get there. If they don't, then SoFi might see some downside back into the low 5s or high 4s. It really depends on member growth. And the second thing is, Anthony Noto bought $7 million worth of shares, last week or 2 weeks ago. So you would imagine the guy knows what's going to happen if he's buying shares that cheap and he thinks it's going to be a good quarter. But nonetheless, the market will decide where it goes. Just sold 15 puts on Tesla at 105 for 217. But some guy picked up 35. There we go. Trading the wheel deal. You guys can check out his channel. He just trades the wheel and picks up premium. 3150. 3150 in pure profits as long as Tesla doesn't get to 150. 512K members is my prediction. Nate, where'd you get that number from? Were you reading or were you just getting it from somewhere else? If you have 10 million, then you already have retirement money and generational wealth. Should invest a couple of those boring stocks, ETFs. Yeah, that's true. It just depends on your investing style and what you want to do. I don't understand the hype around Chicken. I can't stand him. Chicken got it right on the downside of Tesla, but then he got it wrong in terms of the when to buy back in. But, if he's long Tesla, he'll be fine. Let's look at some Netflix options, okay? So Netflix has earnings tomorrow. If you wanted to buy puts on Netflix, and again, buying puts is bearish. That means you are hoping the stock goes down. If you wanted to get Netflix is $324. If I predict that Netflix will go down to $300 on January 20th, which is a day after tomorrow, that put would cost me $535. That put will cost me $535. I break even at 294. The max profit would be 29 grand. I want to buy it, but I don't because I'm like, in this market, again, I don't like Netflix. I don't trust in them at all. But I do think they'll have some good member growth. And if they have some good subscriber growth, then the market's going to give them some love. Even if I don't like them. Are you doing the wheel, Amit? I am doing the wheel. I have some puts on Palantir and SoFi right now, cash secured puts. I'm not trading the wheel at a huge level like TJ because I don't have that much capital, but I got a nice little 6% on SoFi and 13% on Palantir. So that was not bad. Let's take a look at some other videos and see what's going on. Wait, let's go back to the market. You guys were saying Oatly is getting crushed, or let's look at that one. Webull, Oatly. No, Oatly's up. Okay, so Oatly's up 7%. Wow, look at Oatly from $1.28. It's up more than 100%. So Oatly's up, and then FUV Arcimoto is down 60%, still 58%. So those two are getting hit. SoFi up a bit, Spotify up, Coinbase up, Snapchat up, SPY not hitting 400 yet, Snowflake, Apple, Palantir. Well, the market's cooling down a little. It's not as hot as it was in the early morning. Let's see where Tesla's now. Tesla's 133. ARK at 37. All right, so we will see where the rest of this turns out. Just the 25% member growth. Okay, that makes more sense. Tempting, but Netflix tends to gain subscribers around colder months when people stay. Really? I didn't even know that. Netflix tends to gain subscribers around colder months. That's crazy, bro. Macroeconomics is so crazy. The idea that like a trend happens across the entire world because like the same conditions exist for things to happen. That's so wild. Okay, let's take a look at this. Ryan Cohen, the chairman of GameStop, took a stake in Alibaba. Apparently an activist stake. I don't know how you can be an activist with a Chinese company, but let's see what they're looking at. Real quick, let me check one question. What percent return are you looking at each time period and the time period you're selling? So the SoFi is a 6%. It expires in March. So it's in 2 months. And Palantir is a 13%, but it expires in August. So that one, that was like this is one of my first cash secured puts I ever bought. So I bought it way out. Probably shouldn't have bought it way out, but nonetheless, I don't think Palantir is going to be $5 in August. So as a result of that, I can deal with losing that $1,000 for 13%. Because I mean, I don't know where else I'm getting 13% on that 1,000 other than equities, which I don't know how the market's going to be. And then if I put it in like Robinhood savings, I only get 4%. Maybe bonds, even bonds, you get maybe like corporate debt 8 or 9%. So 13% for 8 months, not the best time, but also, not the worst. But probably would never do it that far out again.
The activist investor Ryan Cohen has a new target in his sights. The Chewy founder and GameStop chairman reportedly taking a big stake in Alibaba, looking for the Chinese e-commerce giant to amp up its share buyback program. Shares of Alibaba have nearly doubled since hitting a 52-week low this past October, but are still down more than 60% from their all-time high. For more on Cohen's deal, let's bring in Spencer Jacob. He's the editor of the Wall Street Journal's Heard on the Street column. Spencer, great to have you with us. He's also, by the way, the author of the book, The Revolution That Wasn't, GameStop, Reddit, and the Fleecing of Small Investors. So the perfect person to talk to about this. Yes, he could have already made a bundle on this. But, I mean, who does he think he is if he's approaching this as an activist investor, basically taking on Beijing when the company has already said, you know what, we're with you, Beijing, in terms of the common prosperity message. Why does he think that he could restore or help restore profitability and revenues to pre-pandemic levels?
Yeah, I mean, I think today's action says it all, Melissa. Look, the stock was down 1.5% today after the news came out in the Journal. NASDAQ was up slightly. Shanghai Composite was flat. So the stock underperformed. And that's because the Chinese don't care about apes. I mean, it would look at the relative size of this company, too. I mean, it's, GameStop was, at the time that he announced his stake in September of 2020, 700 times, or 1/700th as valuable as Alibaba is today. Bed Bath & Beyond, when he showed up in that stock last year in the spring, was about 0.5% as big as Alibaba. So it's a much bigger company, and he can't influence them, and he doesn't have the same voting rights, and there's not the same short interest. So they're unimpressed. And while it might be a good investment, and he might be up, if you bought in last summer, he's probably up 10 to 15%. Alibaba's up 30% year to date, and it might be a good long-term holding. I don't think that he can really influence the company.
What is his standing in the Reddit community? I mean, at one time he was probably meme lord, and after exiting abruptly the Bed Bath & Beyond position, I don't know what you would call it, the opposite of lord. He was hated basically by a lot of Reddit folks. Where does he stand right now? I mean, when you read the headline, did you think, oh, that means that this many people could follow him in potentially? Not necessarily moving the needle on the stock, but you could have some sort of retail flow into the name.
When I saw it, I didn't think that we'd see a lot of retail flow. I did expect the stock to be surprised, and we didn't even get that. And so, what's his standing? I mean, the thing is that these apes are a very forgiving bunch because they're the sad sacks of the stock market. They wind up getting dumped on a lot. And, whether it's Ryan Cohen or Elon Musk or whoever, they tend to forgive people who they once revered. I mean, he really treated them badly the way you look at Bed Bath & Beyond shook out, because he kind of ramped it up with his disclosures over the summer. And then all of a sudden it was reported that he was out. So he made a very tidy profit for himself at the expense of a lot of naive people. That doesn't mean that he's not influential, because people still watch what he does. But this is just...
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he just pumps and dumps it, because he's done that before with other stocks. Like, there's no way you have any control with China. I don't know where the activist control comes in with China. Let's actually go to Baba right now. Baba, 115. Let's look at the 1 year on Baba. $58 at the low, October 15th. So it is up. Let's do some actual math on it right now. Alibaba is up. Alibaba's up. Let's do the actual math. 98% since then. So a little bit lower now that it's at 114, but still almost 90% up from its lows in how many months? In 4 months, less than 4 months. Its all-time highs were 300. So, I mean, this is nice. Now, the question is, why is Ryan Cohen buying in? Does he think there's more upside here, or does he actually trying to have an activist stake? I don't know how you have an activist stake with a company like this. It's a bit harder for that to happen. SoFi 564, Spotify 92, Bitcoin 21,000, S&P. Look at this. S&P is being stubborn. It just won't get to 400. It's just being stubborn at the end of the day. Do you think we're still going lower than? Do you still think we're going lower with Tesla limit? Look, we could. I mean, I don't know, man. We could. Like, we might be able to. I mean, if their earnings suck, which it's a possibility, then we could. But again, we already saw Tesla at 102, right? So do we see Tesla at 102 again? I don't know. Do we see Tesla at 102 again? I don't know. Because again, if the market already gave us 102, are they ready to give it to us again? I don't know. I don't think so. And we'll see if that happens. NASDAQ at 11,172. We've got that there. Zoom at 70. NEO 11. ARC 37. Meta 136. Ginkgo at 2. So, I mean, yeah, in terms of Tesla, it could have another downside, but it all depends on earnings. I'll have to do a little bit more of a deep dive on what we see going into earnings. Talk to some people, see what are some of the thoughts going into that. But we'll see that. New Palantir interview just dropped. Alice Karp with the purple shirt. I'll be reacting to that. This is 2 in a day. So we got one from the CNBC, and then we have one with him at the World Economic Forum at Davos. So we'll react to that in a bit, and I'll put that up on the channel. I think we have another downturn. It'll be the last one. I will be doing a lot of buying then, probably late February, early March. Yeah, let's see, man. I mean, maybe this is just euphoria in January, and we'll see where. Like, the thing is, if inflation goes down, CPI and PPI again from what 6.1 to like 5.7 February, who knows, man? I mean, like at some level, the Fed's gonna have to be like, we are going to deflate the crap out of this economy if we don't stop raising rates. But inflation would have to drop so dramatically for that to happen. So I don't know if that would happen. React Live. It's a long interview. Look, I found one clip on Twitter. Let me react to one clip. It's a longer interview, so I think it's like maybe 20, 30 minutes. Let's look at this one. Yeah, Chad. Shout out to Palantir Chad on Twitter. You guys can check him out. He's posting a couple clips. If you guys are on Twitter, follow him and let him know that I found you because of Amit, because he's an awesome guy posting Palantir stuff. Let's listen to this. So Karp has a coach helping him be slightly more normal in public. It's not working, but I'm doing his best. Let's listen to this one. This seems like a good one.
Motivating to us and to me. And right now I'm very motivated by what we do. Honestly, I like the success and the impact. And I'm not planning to go anywhere on, I don't know. I mean, I've been around, I've been doing Palantir longer than most people at Palantir have been alive. But yeah, I'm not planning to really change that until.
And you're not going to change your lifestyle. You're not married, no kids. You're just going to keep doing what you're doing that way, right?
Well, I'm trying to meet people, but I'm not planning to change.
Okay.
But thank you for the shit off.
Okay.
I'm very there's always an up and down in life. Currently, I'm pretty happy and I believe in what we're doing. And I mean, a lot of people would like me to, make myself more, normal friendly. And I'm trying every day.
Okay.
I have a coach. I don't
All
know
right.
if you saw my kid would be kind of slightly more normal in public, and it's not working, but I'm doing my best.
Do you have a barber or no as well?
No, that I've rejected. I
Okay.
tried that route.
All right.
Bro, this is going to be a good interview. Oh my. He basically, they were like, so you're trying to get married? He's like, I'm trying to meet people. Man, this is the guy who really is dedicated to Palantir. For him to be at this age and still going hard every day, this is going to be an exciting one. He really wants to do this. It's going to be cool. And he says he rejects barbers. Me too, Karp. Sometimes for at least a couple of weeks, I reject barbers as well. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much. A couple of videos coming out. Number one, we're going to be talking about Saudi Arabia's new alliance with China. That'll be out. And then we'll do a reaction to Palantir and Sonadex, the new renewable energy company they're working with. And then I'll have a video at the end of the day that I was supposed to post like a week ago that I forgot to post, which is about Google versus Spotify. So a little bit of a comparison between those. All right. That's it. Thank you all, everybody. I appreciate you guys, 250 people, for being here. I'll see you tomorrow at 9:20 a.m. Oh, I didn't do quote of the day and word of the day. Okay, quote of the day. Albert Camus, philosopher. You will, oh, crap. This is the wrong quote. Hold on. All right, let me do word of the day, then quote. Word of the day is implacable. Implacable means not capable of being appeased, significantly changed, or mitigated. not placable. Implacable. So you're not able to be changed in a significant way. And then the quote of the day, this was a good one that I had loaded up. I don't know where it went. Albert Camus quote. Hold on. It's going to be right here. It'll come up. Okay, did it go away? Okay, we'll do this one because I missed the right one. Okay, so we'll do this one. It was going to be a different quote, but this is still a good quote, okay? The quote is, "The struggle itself towards the heights is enough to fill a man's heart." The struggle itself towards the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. And the concept behind that quote is that it is about the journey to get to the mountaintop, not the mountaintop itself, that creates meaning, fulfillment, and purpose in our life. All right, that's it, everybody. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow, 9:20 a.m. Eastern. Bye-bye. Have a great day.